Hi guys, my name is Peter and today I'm doing the first part of a dynamic snow material tutorial. And let me show you what you will have as a result of our tutorial series. So this is the instance of the snow material. You can see that it doesn't look like one. So it looks like a rock texture. So what I will do is that you can see here I have a parameter which is snow amount, and look what happens if I increase it. Dynamically the amount of snow increases. If you make it really high, this will be quite like a pure snow, absolutely snowy material, totally covered by snow. And of course you can decrease it and have something more realistic, because if everything is covered by snow, you cannot really make the player see the surface behind it, and it's not so immersive. So in my game I would be doing something like that. And you can really make it just like very little amount of snow, just like this. And what is the most cool thing is that you can of course dynamically manipulate this during runtime, because this is a material instance. And things that you will be able to do is that you will be able to make a material with this tutorial which takes any texture from the bricks, from the rock like here, and it applies basically some kind of snow shader here. And you can see is that this specularity is only on the snow. So if we put it like lower, you can see that the rock is still having a dull illumination. It's not reflecting the light as it shouldn't. And the snow is the thing that is reflecting the light. And I will show you how to do it. This is pretty simple, but let's start. So in this first part, let me just oops, some kind of really slow performance here, but never mind. So let's make, oh sorry, not a new blueprint, let's make a new material, and let's call it Snow Gen 2, because I already did the first one. And let's open up this one, and we will start up with a little bit of magic, we'll say. So first let's put a vertex color here. We'll need this later. I will not exactly explain why, but you can see the result by yourself. You can study this looking at docs. And then we will need a couple of parameters to have our snow. So let's start with a basic texture, the one that we will put in the basic color, rock texture or brick texture or whatever. And let's see, we will need a texture parameter, something like this, and let's call it a basic texture. Yeah. Then let's find it out. So let's open second content browser somewhere around here. Yeah, great. And let's do it with a rock, just like we have here. It can be anything, but you can change it later on. So for default, let's put a rock here. And this is just fine. And then we start to do some fine stuff. So if we just right now visualize this, let's wait for it, or not. Did I put it here? It should work. Of course, maybe a slow performance. Yeah, now it initialized. Sorry for this kind of performance. Apparently, I have some other processes going at the same time on my PC. But yeah. Let's give it like this, I like it like this. So let's stop previewing and let's take it away from base color. So, first of all, we will multiply this by, for example, a green channel vertex color. And you can see that it doesn't make much difference. Well, it's fast enough. Yeah, it doesn't make much difference here. But this will allow you later on to have multiple layers of textures and stuff. I will not be explaining this. You will just see the result and you can understand it later on. And then we can multiply this also by some value which actually in itself explains how we're achieving the snow effect. So let me just really briefly introduce to you the idea. In the texture we have more whiter areas and darker areas. And what we will do to make it look like snow is that we will take the more white areas, make them really, really white, and at the same time make darker areas really dark. And we will use this kind of map that we will receive from it as basically the way how we will apply the snow. So on the brighter areas we will apply snow, and the dark areas will just remain with the rock texture. So this is not the best explanation, but I hope you more or less get the idea. So we will need some kind of constant or sorry, parameter, scalar parameter. Excuse me. Here we go, and it will be a small snow amount. And as default, we can put something like this. And now, okay, if we multiply it here, let's show you what happens. Nothing, because we multiply at 0.5. Yeah. And if we put here, for example, 10, then it becomes really white. This is not what we need, and this is not the range that we want to manipulate our snow amount in. So let me make it more useful for us. If we put it here, and here we put some kind of constant value that we will divide by the snow amount. Let's say 10. 10 was perfect when I was working last time. And then we put it here. What will happen? If we have a snow amount of 10, let's see, it should be something like 0.5. Yeah, let's see. So the lower this value, the brighter it is, because we divide by it. Yeah, just perfect. And I will explain in a minute, you will see by yourself why we do this. It is because we don't want to see the brighter areas bright. We actually want to make the opposite. We want 1 minus. If we preview this, yeah, that looks a little bit crazy because these are actually negative values. Oops, sorry. So now what we have here is, if we have more value, like 1, we will have darker areas showing up more, like this. And if we have it on about 0, keep in mind this is our snow mask, then our snow mask will look like nothing, like really dark thing. And this is what we need. So we achieve this effect to make sure that with the 0 snow amount there will be no snow, because this is a snow mask. And with something like high value of this snow amount, we will have something like a snow on our texture. And later on you will see how we do this. So let me just do a little bit more of some kind of magic. Let me just add again a texture. Let's add it to the second node, shall we? Vertex color. Add to this. No, sorry. And let's start with this node. Yes, just better. So I cannot tell you what exactly it does right now, and you will find out how to work with vertex shader, vertex color later on by yourself if you need. But for our effect, this is the way how it works. Maybe later we will figure it out together. Because this is the code I took from the other guy who made his snow effect, and it worked just perfect. Okay, but let's move on. You can see that we have some really weird colored values here. Well, why? Because we have some negative values, and this is not good. So some of these are lower than 0 in negative aspect, and what is bad about this is that if we add these values to some other values, for example, we will need again to apply this mask to our basic texture, it will not work properly, because the values are negative. If you add to negative some positive values, they can not act properly. The colors will not sum as they should, because these are lesser than 0 values. So we will need to clamp. Let's clamp. And by doing clamp, we make sure that the lowest values will be 0s and the maximum values will be 1s. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and yes, I was thinking what was wrong. We don't need RGB mask here. We need only the same channel of the vertex color. For example, green channel. I'm sorry. Because we need only a grayscale image here. We can take green, for example, but we can take any other one. Because we don't need RGB. Only black and white, basically. And one channel basically represents black and white. So now you see it works just as it should. And again, if we put lower here, like 0.24, let's say, we'll have here less snow. Let's keep it 0.7, yeah, shall we? So this is the way how it works. And this is already pretty good. But you should keep in mind that this is just a mask for our snow too. So this is the mask how on which we will be applying snow. This means that we need again our basic texture, right? So let's keep it here. And let's linearly interpolate between white color, because the snow basically is just a white color. If you don't make some kind of physical polygons of snow, it will be basically represented by shiny white. So let's interpolate, let's use lerp, interpolate between, yeah, let's put just really just simple constant value of 1, which means 1, 1, 1, which is a white color, between white color and our texture, and now we use RGB. But the alpha for interpolation, which is basically an interpolation map, will be our clamped result. So let's stop previewing this and let's start previewing this one. You will see what happens now. So now we have not just our mask, which is basically a black and white mask. Now we have our black and white used as a mask to apply white color on our basic texture. So we have a white applied somewhere on our base texture. And it doesn't look as good as we would like to make it look. So we can see that a lot of elements here are gray now. And because the texture itself is gray, it's not the best effect to see from distance. So for this we have power. Let's make POV 2. This is just fine. And you can see what happens. So what the POV does is that it takes lower values, so closer to black, and make them even lower, power of 2 lower. And of course the lighter value, the more white values become even more white. This looks even better. So what do we do next, you will ask? Well, we can already put it in a base color, but you can make another lerp. Yeah. And now let's do one more interpolation with our base texture. Sometimes it gives a good result. You can experiment by yourself, but this is the way how I made it, and actually it was several months ago, so I don't really remember very well why did I make this like this, but I clearly remember there was a sense. And what we achieved here is that we have a little bit more control over this, basically this grayness of the texture. But let me put here something like close to 1, so it will really be more of this than this. Let me see. It's really slow. Okay. So again, if you put here 1, you will only see this, and if you will put here like 0.1, you will be really basically close to this, but still with a little bit of our lerped snowy material. So we want to keep it really high. So why we even use this, the second lerp here, is that we want to add more detail of our texture. So we really want to apply to make it look like the snow is being applied on the texture. It's not the way how texture looks. It's on the texture. And After this, we can stop reviewing this node and just simply apply our results to the base color, I guess. As far as I remember, yeah. Let's see now. Let's move it up. Okay, good. Now we can, of course, compress the amount of space it takes. And let's put a comment. Hotkey C, let's say diffuse or base color. Never mind. And the diffuse can be blue, for example, doesn't matter. And of course now we can move it with a comment. And here we go. If we would stop here, for some people it would look good, but of course you can see that the specularity is nowhere here, so it just basically reflects the light in the most primitive way it could. So how do we manage to look at really shiny, to look at like this? Well, let me show you. One thing you can do is you can, for example, take addition. Let's do more like this. You can see what is there. You can take this addition, which looks, let me see again, really slow. Okay, yeah. This is a mask, a black and white mask of our snow application. How we apply snow to this mask, as I was saying before. So if we just take, let's say, roughness, we have here roughness, and we just say, okay, make everything like really not rough, the whole material. It will be reflecting more, but it will not have any pattern of reflection because we don't have a specular map or whatever. If we make it close to 1, like this, the effect will be the opposite. It's not reflecting anything. So it will be really nice if we had some kind of mask, so something will reflect and some other parts will not be reflecting. For example, we really don't want the stone parts reflect, while the snow here, the snow pattern on this texture, we would like to reflect. So we can take this and apply to roughness. This is one way. And as the result, we get something really looking awkward and strange. Why is that so? Well, first of all, let's clamp it again, because this is not clamped like we would like to clamp. So it has like negative values and other stuff. And let's clamp it so that all the surface will be not totally, you know, like mirror. So the minimum roughness will be 0.2. If we leave it 0, it will be some mirror surface will be there, like absolutely reflecting, like godlike reflection or something like this. Yeah. So let's see. Silver looks really strange. And well, let's just make one minus here. I was going to show you why, but now it's absolutely clear that without it, it looks really strange. So why we use one minus? Because we want the reflection to be the opposite. So we want the white parts reflect, not the black parts reflect. And still, it looks like really something strange for some reason. Maybe there was something I forgot to do. Just give me a second. Okay, wait. Let's take this and put it into metallic. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Okay, jokes aside, we will use this, but a little bit different way. Again, we will need to clamp stuff a little bit, because the snow is not a metal, okay? This is absolutely clear. So let's clamp this. So the maximum metallic we want to see is 0.3. And why we even use metal? Well, because it looks good when the snow is a little bit metallic, for some reason. It's not something close to physics, it's not physically realistic, but it works fine. And now you can see that it starts to look just good. So we can start seeing that, let's see, the stone parts are not reflecting. And it's even more clear if you put snow lower, like 0.3. Yeah, just fine. You can see that there are parts that reflect, and these parts are the parts covered in snow, and the stone is not reflecting. This is just perfect, actually. So let's get this back to 0. Let's put it 0.5. But you might ask, well, why doesn't it look as good as here? The pattern is not there, you will say. And you will be absolutely right. Let's pump it up to 0.6. And the reason, or 0.7, let's say. The reason for this is that we are not using normal mask. So let's use it. And for normal mask, we will need another parameter. Texture sample parameter, and this will be a normal texture. And let's bring up our editor, second one. And somewhere here, okay, this is the rock basalt. This is just the same normal as the rock for the rock texture. So we have rock texture, rock normal. Let's put it here, yeah. And now, one thing you can do, of course, just put it normal. And here we go. Let's see. It looks kind of good. Yeah, the computations were not done. Now they're done. Sorry for my really slow PC. This is a 4.5 Core i5. 4.5 GHz Core i5. I don't know why it's so slow today. Probably it's too hot. Let me just make the fans rotate fast. Okay, so now you can see it looks pretty good, and the shiny pattern of reflection is there, so the specular works really fine. As good as it works here, except for one thing. Now look here. If I get really close, I can see, well, it's just a normal map reflecting the light. But if you look here, let me just put it higher level so you will clearly see it. Oops, sorry. You can see that it's not just normal map reflection. Look at this. Look at these patterns on really like micro level patterns. These ones, yeah. It looks cool. For some people may not like it. Some people say it's not how snow looks like. But nevertheless, I will show you the way how to do it. The tutorial becomes a little bit, let's say, long, but sorry for this. You can just watch it when you want. And how do we make this look as I showed you on the Snow Gen 1? Well, let's put a bump offset. It's kind of a hack. This is not the way how bump offset is supposed to be used, but we will use the normal texture as a coordinate for bump offset. Coordinate input. And here, let's put something like a low constant, like 0.1. And this will be a height, oh sorry, the height for bump offset. Yeah, good. So now if we look at this, let's see, does it load or does it look like anything? Well, it may not. Okay, never mind. But the cool stuff is, now that you have this, you can apply this bump offset to UV of the same normal texture. So it's like a little recursion here, recursive work. And this is where the cool stuff starts to show up. So let's start spraying this now. And I don't know. Let's wait it until this compiling shader, governance shaders completes. But let's actually continue working, and you will see the result in time. Let me close Visual Studio because it is something like up to 40% of the processor time for some reason. Now, before it finished compiling, we can finish this. So put here multiply, and multiply this by what? Multiply this by our clamp here. So we have this 9. Oh yes, here's the result, but I will talk it for a second. So multiply this by this. Why? Well, because we need this nice shiny normal, which looks really nice now, or strange. We want it to be only on the snowy part, not on this tone part. That's what we will have here. So we have our snow map again here, and we multiply our crazy normal by this snow map, which means that the rocks will not use this normal map, only the snowy part will be, because we use this, because we are using this snow map. And why this 0, 3? Okay, never mind, it's not used. Now, as we have our multiply, we have this crazy normal map. And why it looks so crazy? Well, check out this. This, again, is a normal map. Sorry for this kind of objection. Well, yeah, but now look here. If we take a bump offset using it as an input and apply this bump offset to it again, this is what you get. Crazy, huh? It's really close. It looks really strange. I know this is this is a little bit of hack, and I'm absolutely fine with this. But now, if we just plug it here into the normal and stop previewing, of course. Let's see. I will not waste my time, and I will not waste your time. Just, yeah, oops. Let's see. Yeah, that's good, of course. Yeah. So now you see that, everywhere is this normal map, this crazy normal map, and you lost all the detail which were there, the reflection details or reflection pattern which was there because of our traditional normal map. So we'll just add traditional normal map to our crazy normal map. And this will be the normal result. And let's see, here you go. Has it finished all these calculations? I don't know. Yes, now it did. Really don't know why the PC is so slow. But now you see the result. We have a detail for our normal map, and then we have our crazy bump offset normal map. Also applied here. Oops, sorry. And this is the result. So we have a pattern of reflections, and at the same time, let me just make it a little closer. We have our nice and little bit maybe sci-fi or fantastic reflections, which are the same that I was showing you here on the big screen. These ones. So this is the way how it works. And yes, this is it. This is the whole model. Let's just put here a comment of normal computation, for example, and give it some other color. Well, it should be like this, maybe. Yeah. Good. This is the resulting material. So let's save it. And let's find some kind of a cube to apply it to. Let's say this cube. So this is our Snow Gen 2, right? Just apply it. And here we go. Well, this is it. This is our snow material. But one thing you can do is that, of course, you can create your material instance and apply the material instance to it. And while it looks the same, it will look the same before you will modify it. So we have our snow amount here. And again, what you can do is that you can decrease it. And immediately, oops, sorry, immediately the result is seen here. So you can, of course, you can just take this as a separate window and manipulate it on the fly. It works just fine. And another cool stuff is that you can take your content browser, right? And you can find something else to apply. Let's override this. When you put here a check, it means that you would like to override it. You want to, for example, I don't know, cobblestone, right? I don't know how it will look, but yeah, rough cobblestone. And now the snow is applied to cobblestone. So if you put here 0, this is just cobblestone. But when you are raising this value, the snow starts to appear. Of course, you can adjust the algorithm, because, for example, for cobblestone, it's not realistic. The most bright parts of a cobblestone texture are here at the bottoms of these stones. So this is not realistic, and this is not also realistic. But when you make it more and more, this starts to look more like snowy, right? And you can put more and more. And of course, the cool thing is that everything is really shiny. The snow parts are specifically shiny. And yeah, you can experiment with this, and these are the parameters that you can modify. And this is the end of the first video. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for watching my tutorial. And in the next part of the tutorial, I will show you how to make some cool blueprints with this. So as I showed earlier, for example, you can make the snow, oops, sorry. You can make the snow appear when you come closer and disappear when you walk away. So yeah, see you in the next part of the tutorial. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.